Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CHILIZ CHZ. Just going to dive into CHILIZ. Once again, before I continue, thank you very much for all your continued support, the comments, the likes, sharing is caring, everything you do for this channel, okay? Really appreciate everything that you do to contribute towards the growth of this channel. Some of the feedback that we get is absolutely amazing. It's flabbergasting. Thank you very much for your continued support. There is a Patreon link now that I've dropped on coinskid.com. The link's in the video description. There was a problem with the links, but that's sorted. And obviously we've got a Telegram group which is blowing up as well, so do get involved with the community if you're not already involved. Yeah, and we'll just dive into CHILIZ then. So brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You know, we've been targeting this inverse head and shoulders for a few days now, and that's broke out and all our targets have been met, so that's fantastic. So we're marching onwards and upwards, but like I said to you, you know, always trade with caution. Do take profits where you can. We are marching on to that previous high, so this is looking like a full retracement to that previous high, so it's looking good. But just looking at the chart like that without bringing any more fibs up, you can see where your resistance is going to be. You've got like two peaks, okay? Obviously you got your previous all-time high up there at 94 cents. But then immediately you can see you've got a level of resistance just there, which you've literally come up against. Okay, do you see this previous resistance just here? Okay, because like I said to you, when you fall through support, you usually come back up as resistance, and that's what you're doing. You can see that previous level there is a high level of resistance, and then obviously you can see you've got another peak there of resistance as well. So like I said to you, I wouldn't expect CHILIZ to just get there overnight, but this is one mega pump here. This is a mega pump for CHILIZ just there. I don't know what's happened, some news or whatever, but it's brilliant. We went up in that impulsive wave, we were corrected. Do you remember when we based off that bottom? So those of you that took the trade there, you now sat in a long position from this base here. We said there was a critical level of support and put some long bids in down there. You're now up a whopping 31%, and it actually shot up to 43%, so that was fantastic for any of you that took that trade, and all our targets have been met so far, so that's amazing. You can see right at the moment though, we are struggling a little bit, and we are retracing back to this 1414, okay, off this impulsive wave and corrective wave here, and this fib extension, so that's golden, the fact that we are above that, and we are falling back onto it. Do you see how good these fibs are? Look where it's sat, and look where it's bounced off as support. Do you see that? Because when it breaks through, like I said to you, you always want to see it back test as support, and that's exactly what it did. And what did I say to you about when you get through these golden ratios? Okay, the golden ratio is a ticket to Mars. Look at that. Whew. Brilliant stuff for CHILIZ. Anyone that's involved, fantastic, well done. So yeah, stick with the channel and I'll show you where the in and out trades are, and obviously for those that you're holding, congratulations. But right now you can make money when it's going up, and you can make money when it's going down following the channel, okay? So it's all good, but obviously, like you can see, you can just immediately look to the left and see the level of resistance. There's one there which you've come up against, and then there's one there which you've not come up against yet, but I would expect you to sort of get a bit of a rejection there and a bit of a pullback. So what's next for CHILIZ then? Is it going to continue like this to Mars, or is it just going to roll over and sort of consolidate for a bit? Well, when it does, okay, it does come up against resistance. You can see it's hit its head and it's starting to roll back, and when it does, this is called retracing, just like it goes up here, goes up in a mega impulsive wave, starts to roll over, looks bad like it's going to crash, but it's actually just retracing. Remember to apply common sense, because look, the EMA is really overextended, so what you want to do is sort of see it sort of roll over a little bit, consolidate. Now that you've got to this level, okay, start to form a retracement and hopefully come back down and touch this EMA, because the more it goes up, the more overextended it gets, and when it starts to tumble, it loses support, and that's when you see this sort of thing happen, okay? Just here, when it goes up and gets too overextended, starts to roll over, and because it's so overextended, the cascade of selling comes in because everyone thinks it's going to crash, and then it just really corrects. So far so good, okay? It's all golden. We're getting this full retreat back to the all-time high here, and like I said to you in multiple videos here covering CHILIZ, you're potentially looking at something like that. So you could immediately look at that and say, well, okay, so it came down, it went up again, and then it went back down, formed a bottom, and then it come up and it looked like it was marching on, but then it collapsed again. So this is what I mean about always trade with caution. You know, always take profits where you can. Not financial advice, but buy low and sell high. When you see overextensions, do take profits and think about, you know, sort of exercising a bit of caution and not being too greedy, and sort of, you know, look to probably re-enter when it comes back down to the EMA there. So it's just basically using a bit of common sense, to be honest with you, because you can see down here on this consolidation zone, just down here where it fell down, it did exactly what so it's made that V-shaped W bottom, beautiful, and it started to come back up, and then you can see it fell back on itself, lost itself. So if you were selling up here, okay, you could have been buying back. It's not financial advice, I don't want to tell you what to do, but always expect the unexpected, because just there was a 30% correction. So even though it looks like it's going to Mars, You know, the market can roll over, and that's how brutal crypto can be. And that's why I always say, my always advice, you always see things go up, but you always see them come back down. Okay, look, goes up, comes back down, goes up, comes back down. So when you're seeing it going up like that and overextended, always think about taking profits if you're in a trade. Okay, up there, massively overextended, just like what you're looking at now, rolled over, lost support. Wow, if you'd have sold up there, okay, if you'd have sold up there at that top when you knew it was overextended, common sense telling you it's overextended, and bought back on the bottom, you got a 50% more in your bag. So it's an accumulation game. Okay, it's an accumulation game. So always tread with caution. I'm not telling you what to do. It's just always use your own sort of due diligence and do your own research. But all I'll do is try and tell you where the tops are, and I'll tell you where the bottoms are. Okay. So that's it. At the moment, it's looking really tasty, looking really good. You've actually gone on and you've got a little bit of extended from this 1618 extension there. So it's all golden. So right now what we're looking at is you are hitting it again as resistance, okay? But what's good, you actually falling on this 141 as support, which is what we want to see. So hopefully now that we don't lose this level of support, because if you do, you'll start to retrace. And from that, you can actually find out where you're going to retrace, okay? So what you do, this target's been met now. So we'll get rid of this fib, okay? And all you do is just reverse it. So that's your top, and this is the previous bottom just there. Do you see that? Okay, and what you're doing now, you're retracing, okay, because this is your swing low. You made a new impulsive wave up there, and you know, if that is the top and this doesn't go any further, okay, if this blows this top out, then you need to come back onto your charts and move this up, okay, to wherever your top is. Wherever you think your top is, it starts to retrace, and at the moment you can see it's hit the top, it's rolled back, and it looks as though it's retracing. So if it is, here's some targets, okay, because when it does retrace, just like it did here, went up, start to retrace, went up, start to retrace, okay, if it goes up anymore, then do come onto the chart and just adjust this to where you think your top is. But right now we're saying that this is the top, okay, so with that I can give you some fallback targets as it starts to retrace. So one really strong place, an area of retracing, is obviously the 0236. I'm going to drop these out because them targets have been met, okay? So those targets have been met. So right now you can see what it's done. It's fell back and it's actually fell under the 0236 as it started to retrace. It didn't hold it as support. So for me, that's telling me that now you're hitting that as resistance. So you are looking at a retracement. Not financial advice, but you can see it's potentially rolled over. It's basically peaked because it went up and the selling pressure's come in. It's rolled over and it's not bounced off its 0236, which you want to see. You want to see in a really strong uptrend. You want to see it bounce. But you can even look at that candle and say, well, that's quite relatively overextended. So the healthy thing here is for CHILIZ to just sort of roll over a bit, just consolidate a little bit, just like this. Allow this EMA to creep up and catch up with it and get a little touch off it. So what you're going to look at is a retracement. And as you start to retrace, you're going to target these levels, okay? The most common retracement area, which I think you'll personally get some bids in, is this area just here, okay? So this particular area just there is the 050, which is 059054. You may see CHILIZ roll back to that sort of area, okay? And when it rolls back, it'll do something like this and hug it for a little bit, get a test of support before marching on. And when we do get that corrective wave, it's called a retracement wave, a corrective wave that comes back down and finds a base. From that we can derive the next price prediction, okay, just like we did off this previous impulsive and corrective wave, and it gave you that extension which actually got met, okay, that both of them targets got met. It was really overextended, to be fair. We was targeting the 1414, but it actually went to the 1618. So again, it just shows how superly strong it is. But always be cautious of overextended, okay, impulsive waves. Just one word of advice. Just common sense tells you, okay. So at the minute, you know, it does look as though it's kind of rolling over a little bit, but I could come tomorrow and it's marched on. So, but if it does start to fall and you start seeing a few red candles, okay, do target these particular areas, because if you start to lose this 0618, okay, which is a golden ratio, if you do start to lose this sort of this area here, okay, then you are potentially looking at a further correction which turns into a reversal, and then it'll be looking for a level of support which potentially would be this 55 EMA, because that's what it did there, okay. It went up an impulsive wave, started to retrace, and you remember it lost the 0618, and as it lost it, it started to reverse, okay, but it found base on the inverse head and shoulder, which was an absolute rock solid bottom at the minute. So we can say that this has to be our bottom. We can't go any lower than that at the minute, because if we do, we're invalidating this next wave up to our previous all-time high, and we're going to start rolling over, and then we'll start creating lower lows, okay, and we don't want to do that. So that's a base level of support right now, which you could see it fall back to in a big corrective wave, okay, and from here that would actually be If you was to correct, that's a whopping 24%. So do target that area when you're trading, okay? Do keep an eye on 047. We've already laid down that previous rock solid bottom. Chiliz can't go any lower than that, in my opinion, in the current time frame, okay? Because you are going to start taking out all of this that you've worked so hard to achieve and fall lower and potentially take out this low, which is a reversal pattern that we've got going on, okay? So far so good. If you do roll over, do target this 0618 and the 05 as potential buy zones. Again, if you lose that particular area there, it's 056992, you would see yourself roll over, okay? And if it would start to fall through the MAs, that would be a rock solid bottom. But I do anticipate that Chiliz is so strong, okay? It's really strong. I'm not going to lie to you. It's mega strong. And I do think if you was to roll over, you would have the EMA, this yellow line, creep up as well with it, okay? And it start to creep up like this. And then you may find it really, really strong. It gets a kiss off the 50. So that, in my opinion, if it does do that and it bounces, that's a fantastic entry point for any of you that have not actually involved with Chiliz at the moment, because it's showing strengths of a full recovery to its all-time high here and then some, because we've got our price predictions up there, $1.70, okay, and then we've got an extended price prediction of almost $5 in this bull run for Chiliz. So it's all good. It's all good. I've given you some targets there. I could be sort of a bit exuberant and give you a future price prediction, okay, but I do want to see this corrective wave come into play, because just like here, impulsive wave, corrective wave, once you get that corrective wave, you can sort of target the next step going forward. But I do think we're making progress and it looks good, okay, but like I said to you, just be wary of the rollover and the fact that it does hold support. And again, if you was to start falling through the MAs, which I don't anticipate it will, but we never know in this space, it's so volatile, okay. Bitcoin can roll over and it drags everything with it. That's the way it works. And you know, but do have this in mind, okay? If it does fall that low, this is a fantastic area to go long, okay? Because look at the held support there, okay? And then it invalidates the whole recovery pattern that we've got going on. So this is a really key area if you was to see it fall any further than that. So yeah, that's Chiliz. All good, all good. Well, congratulations everybody that's held and trading these in and out trades that I'm seeing right now. So you have got a couple of trades here, okay? If you was to lose the 0382, okay, if it starts to come up and it's its head, because that's what happens, you see, is it comes back up and it's its head and can't get back through, it looks at like, okay, well, I'm going to roll over and consolidate for a bit, and there's some opportunities in there, because you could go short from that opportunity just there, okay, and potentially look to sort of take down to the 0618, because that's the healthy correction. It's down to 0618, okay, that's a golden ratio. Look for a little 10% short opportunity down there, and I would imagine if it does get that low, then you could just sort of go long, and that would be off the 20 EMA on the 4 hourly time frame there, and just go long, you know, and you will be looking at a next impulsive wave for 20-30% plus for Chiliz. So it's all good. It's all good. In out trading. Take care, everyone. I'll catch you in tomorrow's update. Bye bye.